It doesn't seem to be very fair that God would single out one group of people to exalt them and promote them above all other peoples of the earth. Why did God choose one distinct peoples to be the light to the rest of the world, to be examples to the rest of the world? Why were they singled out? Speaking of the nation of Israel, they were, according to God on Mount Sinai, when God communicated to Moses that Israel, the descendants of Jacob, the descendants of Abraham, would be for the praise and glory of God to the rest of the nations. They were supposed to shine as lights. They were supposed to be attractive. They were supposed to be an attraction to God's goodness and His greatness and His awesomeness. And that would happen if they were obedient to God's will. That they would in fact be that light, that light on a hill. But according to the prophets, which would later on show up, that's why they were sent. These prophets were sent to the nation of Israel because they had departed from God, walking after their own ways or walking after the customs and traditions of the other peoples around them, the other cultures, the other nations. They weren't supposed to be multicultural. From what I gathered, how I interpret it, they were supposed to be different because the other nations around them were engrossed in horrific practices and beliefs. And not only did they worship inanimate objects like rocks and stones and wood, and they worshipped the cosmos, the sun and the moon and the stars and the planets, and they worshipped what else did they worship? They worshipped fish, aquatic creatures. They worshipped land animals like cows and bulls and all these things. And of course, they had signs in astrology that depicted these animals which they worshipped. But they would seek the counsel from created things rather than the creator of the living things. Which was even more logical to worship the creator rather than the creation, than what is created, because obviously the one is more superior than the other being inferior. But God is supreme. God is our maker. He's responsible for our existence. If it wasn't for God, there wouldn't be a planet. There wouldn't be planets. There wouldn't be a cosmos. There wouldn't be a universe. There wouldn't be multi-universes as we're discovering. Lots of galaxies. There wouldn't be any of it if it wasn't for God. So who do we ultimately owe for our being, our very essence? It's God. And so the nation of Israel, I don't know how they got tricked or bewildered or seduced into worshiping these false gods, but they fell prey to it. They succumbed to it, and of course, God said there would be consequences if they made allegiances with these other nations, accepting their practices and grafting them into their own traditions and ceremonies, and some of them outright. Some of them would mix it in with Judaism, but some would just completely, flat out deny or walk away from their religion of birth and accepting exclusively the religion of the others, like the worship of Baal and the worship of Ashtoreth and all these gods, Queen of Heaven. They seduced people into doing sexually perverted things and things that the Apostle Peter or Paul says that aren't even worth, shouldn't even be mentioned. That's how perverted and gross it is. But we live in a culture today where it's promoted through entertainment. People get off on watching these things on TV or in the movie theater. And, you know, there's an entertainment, it's big business. And it was big business back then too. These things were very marketable, even in ancient times. They sold shrines and gods to the community in the marketplace for probably not. Some of them probably had different values, different cost.